Let's begin by telling you that 2 persons were feared dead at Agbor, headquarters of Ika South local government area of Delta State, following the bursting into flames of a tanker laden with petrol. According to reports, the incident occurred on Sunday afternoon when the petrol tanker fell while the driver was trying to make a U-turn on the ever-busy old Lagos Asaba Road that runs through Agbor main town. From the videos obtained from eyewitnesses, some residents and passerby were helpless in trying to put out the flames before the arrival of firefighters to the scene. News Central's Austin Azur reports that several houses and vehicles around the scene were severely burnt, just as the body of a car owner who was caught up by the flames could be seen on the road. Meanwhile, Governor of Delta State, Sheriff Oborevwori, has extended his condolences to the families of victims of Sunday's fire attack. The governor, in a statement by his chief press secretary, Festus Ahon, described the fire incident as horrifying and prayed for speedy recovery of those injured and fortitude to those bereaved in these unfortunate incidents. And for more on this, we're joined by a public affairs analyst, and that's Victor Orji. Good evening. Glad to have you join me on the news.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here.
Okay. Let me kick off by asking you what your thoughts are on this tanker explosion in Delta State.
What actually caused this accident was the fact that the road is made up of, like, the topography is not a level topography, it's hills and valley. And the tanker actually failed brake. 4 persons were burnt to death beyond recognition. 3 are currently hospitalized at Agbor. And we give God the glory that it was not on a working day, because if it was on a Monday or Friday or Wednesday, that we usually have customers at the bank and the complete staff of the...
Mr. Orji, are you there?
So it's unfortunate, but we still appreciate the fact that it was not on a working day.
Well, we lost you for a minute there, Mr. Orji. I mean, this is becoming a recurring issue. How can further incidents be prevented?
You know, we have weak institutions in Nigeria. The VIO has a duty of care to ensure that all vehicles on the road are capable or have the capacity to make use of the road. And it being we have a functional system where cars are checked regularly for brake failure and other maintenance of vehicles. I believe that there will be reduced incidents of such. So you see some vehicles that doesn't have the capacity of carrying 3,000 liters due to a weak engine. You see them on the road. You see some because we lack accountability in Nigeria. Everybody does whatever they like because there is no consequence in the system. That's why you see that things like this will happen. When a vehicle is not roadworthy, you see these cars plying the road. So these are, if we have a working system, it will reduce accident to a minimal level. Not as if it's going to end it totally, but to a minimal level if you have a working system like other climes.
Now, talking about reducing accidents on our roads, what safety tips would you recommend, for instance, to people and even motorists in areas where petrol tankers often ply? Mr. Orji, are you there? I was asking you if you can hear me. What safety tips would you recommend or suggest to people and as well as motorists in areas where petrol tankers often ply?
Since it's a slopy terrain, that's this region of Agbor here in Delta State, maybe if maybe lower speed breakers will be applied on those roads, it could reduce the tendency of brake failure, because if you look at the terrain, there is no speed breakers in that region. So maybe if the local government could introduce, or the state government could introduce speed breakers, it will tend to reduce the speed that these tankers or heavy-duty vehicles will use to descend the slope. Because the terrain of Agbor is not a tableland, it's a slopy region, hills and valley.
Then regarding the government, what would be your recommendation or advice to them, that's both the federal government as well as the state government?
Like I said, in terrains as such, low speed breakers should be constructed so that it will tend to act as a control. Just like you have on the highway, you have what we call the banking angle, where there's a curve. If you take note, in most highways, you will notice that the highway and transportation engineers or the contractors usually introduce bends or curves. As you are traveling, you notice some curves. It's intentional because it's called a banking angle in civil engineering, which tend to reduce your speed because it's a curve. So maybe the state government should, because this is a trunk B road, it's not a trunk A road, it's not a federal government road. So this accident occurred at a trunk B road. So the state government should introduce, or the local government in collaboration with the state government should introduce speed breakers in that axis of Agbor to prevent such occurrence from happening again.
All right, thank you so much for your time on the news, Victor Orji, Public Affairs Analyst. Many thanks indeed for your time.